Chapter 1. Two Towns, One River. The town of Silvergate was bright and beautiful. Tall buildings touched the clouds. The streets were clean and lined with shiny shops. People in Silvergate wore fine clothes. They spoke about business, travel, and new inventions. Every night golden lights shone in the windows. Laughter floated in the air. Across the wide river was another town, Dustmere. The houses there were small and old. Roofs leaked when it rained. Streets were narrow, muddy, and often crowded. People worked long hours for little money. The smell of bread mixed with smoke from cooking fires. At night, the streets were dark. The only light came from the moon. The two towns were connected by a single bridge. People from Silvergate rarely crossed it. They said Dustmere was unsafe or dirty. People from Dustmere crossed the bridge only to work as cleaners, cooks, or drivers in Silvergate. They often returned home before night fell. In Dustmere lived a boy named Elias. He was 14. His family was poor, but his heart was full of dreams. He loved to read old books he found in the library. Many pages were torn, but he read them again and again. He wanted to be an inventor. He wanted to build things that could help people. One cold evening, Elias stood by the river, watching the lights of Silvergate. One day, he whispered, "I'll cross that bridge and stay there. I'll learn everything I can, and then I'll come back and make Dustmere better." He didn't know that someone was watching him from the Silvergate side. A girl named Clara, the daughter of a rich businessman, saw him almost every evening from her bedroom window. She often wondered what he was thinking. That night, their worlds were still far apart, but the bridge between them was waiting. Chapter 2. The Meeting. Elias had a small job delivering bread in Silvergate. One morning he carried a basket across the bridge. The winter air was sharp, and his hands were red from the cold. Clara was walking with her governess. She saw him trip on a loose stone, and the bread rolled onto the street. Some people laughed. Elias's face turned red, but he quickly picked up the loaves and brushed off the dirt. Clara stepped forward. "Here," she said softly, taking a clean cloth from her bag. She wrapped the bread and handed it back to him. Elias blinked. No one in Silvergate had ever helped him before. He said, "Thank you," quietly. "You're welcome," Clara smiled. Do you live across the bridge?" "Yes," Elias replied, "in Dustmere." "I've never been there," she admitted. "Is it very poor?" Elias thought for a moment. "It's hard," he said, "but people there are strong and kind, even if we don't have much." Her governess frowned. "Miss Clara, we must go." Clara gave him one last smile before walking away. That night, Clara thought about the boy from Dustmere. Elias thought about the girl from Silvergate. Both felt a strange spark, like the bridge had grown a little shorter. Chapter 3. A Door Opens. A week later, Elias was delivering bread again in Silvergate. This time, it was to a tall house with white walls and a golden gate. He rang the bell. To his surprise, Clara opened the door herself. "Elias, I was hoping I'd see you again," she said. He smiled shyly. "I didn't know this was your house." "My father is out," she whispered, "but I have something to show you." She led him to a bright room filled with books, maps, and strange machines. On the desk was a small clock that ticked softly. "You can read, right?" she asked. "Yes," Elias said. "I read every book I can find." Clara's eyes lit up. "Then take this one." She handed him a book about inventions. The pages were clean, the pictures colorful. "I think you'll like it." Elias held the book as if it were a treasure. "I can't pay you." "I'm not selling it," Clara said. "Think of it as a gift from one inventor to another." That moment changed something inside Elias. No one had ever believed in his dream before. For weeks he read the book at night by candlelight. He learned about pulleys, gears, and steam power. He began to draw his own designs in a small notebook. But one evening his father saw the drawings and sighed. "Elias, dreams are fine, but we need money. You should work more hours." Elias nodded, but in his heart he knew he couldn't let go of his dream. Meanwhile, in Silvergate, Clara faced her own challenge. Her father discovered she had been talking to a boy from Dustmere. "Stay away from him," he warned. "People from there only want what we have." Clara wanted to obey, but she also knew Elias was different. She decided she would keep helping him no matter what. Chapter 4. The Plan. Spring came. Flowers bloomed on both sides of the river. Elias and Clara met secretly at the bridge. "I've been thinking," Elias said. "Dustmere has no clean water in summer. People get sick. What if I could build a pump to bring water from the river to the town?" Clara's eyes widened. "That's brilliant, but you'd need tools and materials." "I can't afford them," Elias admitted. Clara thought for a moment. "My father's workshop has spare wood and metal. I can bring some to you, little by little." They made a plan. Every week, Clara would hide small pieces of material in a basket of old clothes, and Elias would take them home. He began working in a shed behind his house. At first, the machine did not work. The water only dripped slowly. Elias felt like giving up, but Clara kept encouraging him. "Every great inventor fails many times before success," she reminded him. Months passed. The machine grew bigger, stronger. Elias tested it again and again. One hot afternoon, water finally poured out in a steady stream. He laughed and shouted so loud that neighbors came running. But good news travels fast, and so does bad news. A man from Silvergate saw the pump and told Clara's father everything. The next day, Clara's father locked the workshop and told her she was forbidden to see Elias again. The bridge between their worlds seemed to crumble. Chapter 5. Breaking the Wall. Elias didn't see Clara for weeks. Each day he crossed the bridge with bread, hoping she might appear. She never did. The pump stood in the middle of Dustmere, still working. People brought buckets and smiled at Elias. "You've saved us," they said. But inside, Elias felt lonely. He wanted to share his success with Clara. One evening, a terrible storm hit both towns. The river rose, and water rushed over the bridge. In Dustmere, Elias saw houses close to the river start to flood. People screamed for help. He ran into the rain, helping neighbors carry children to higher ground. Across the river, Clara was looking out her window. She saw lights in Dustmere go out one by one. She thought of Elias, wet and tired, running through the streets. She could not stay inside any more. She put on her boots, slipped past the guards, and crossed the bridge in the storm. When she reached Dustmere, she found Elias helping an old woman onto a cart. "Clara," he shouted over the rain. "You need help," she shouted back, and without another word she joined him. For hours they worked together. When the rain stopped, Dustmere was muddy and broken, but no one had died. That night, Clara's father arrived, angry and wet. But when he saw what they had done, he fell silent. For the first time, he looked at Dustmere not as a problem, but as a place full of people with courage. Chapter 6. The Bridge Between Worlds. In the weeks after the storm, Clara's father changed. He spoke to Dustmere's mayor and offered to help repair houses. He even visited Elias's pump and asked how it worked. Elias showed him the designs in his notebook. "It's simple," he explained. "Anyone can learn to build it." Clara's father nodded. "Then we should teach them." With his support, Elias began teaching children in Dustmere how to make small machines. Some learned to fix carts. Others built simple water filters. Silvergate donated tools and books. One sunny morning, a new bridge was built across the river, wider and safer than before. People from both towns crossed it freely. Markets appeared on both sides. Laughter was heard in the streets of Dustmere, just as in Silvergate. Years later, Elias became a respected inventor. He still lived in Dustmere, but often traveled to Silvergate for meetings. Clara became a community leader, working to make sure no one was left behind. One evening, they stood on the bridge watching the sunset. "Do you remember," Clara said with a smile, "when we first met here?" Elias laughed. "I do. I dropped a basket of bread." "And now," she said, "we've built more than a pump. We've built a bridge between worlds." The golden light touched the river, and for the first time, the two towns looked like one. Thanks for watching. Take action today, not tomorrow. Press subscribe. And let's keep learning together. You're doing great. See you in the next one. Stay strong.